Sea of Thieves is definitely an interesting one, in that this game is occasionally super fun, but it just lacks content. There are a few things you can do around the world, like there's quests for 3 different factions, the Order of Souls led of course by the big titty goth bitch from Danny Phantom, the Merchant Alliance of course led by Whoopi Goldberg, and the Gold Hoarders led by none other than Mort Goldman. These quests are typically just fetch quests, where maybe you kill a few skeleton NPCs and grab a skull for the Order of Souls, or maybe you grab some animals, goods, and spices for the Merchant Alliance, and the occasional treasure hunt with riddles for the Gold Hoarders. There are 2 map events so far, the Skull Fort and the Ghost Ships. Both of these map events give you a good-sized amount of treasure, but on your own, both are very difficult. I've found that the Skull Ship is pretty difficult regardless of crew size. All of the content Rare offers in this game is done for gold, which in Sea of Thieves, gold is just a means to buy cosmetics for your pirate. And, your pirate ship, of course. So there's not much incentive to do the quests when they take 30 minutes to an hour to do, just so you can amputate your leg for that cool-ass Kraken peg leg. So, you might ask, where is the fun in this game, Cloud? Well, I'm glad you asked, because, like I always say, the game is called Sea of Thieves, not Sea of Friends. So, the most fun part of this game is sinking other players' ships and tanking what took them most likely hours to get in the span of just 3 minutes. Maybe I'm just on some Black Air Force 1 activities, but I take great pleasure in destroying hours of grinding skull forts, sunken ships, and quests from other players, mostly for the ship combat, and because their reactions are priceless half the time. I don't really like it when people argue for a game's wellness by saying, "Duh, this game is fun with friends." Listen, motherfucker, I would play a game of Monopoly where 80% of the board is go-to-jail spaces if it were with friends. Every game is fun with friends. The whole pirating aspect, however, is enhanced with friends. But if you like the pirate era, as I do, and you like sailing and medium-paced combat, then this game is for you. I do have to talk about how Rare fucked this game up and turned what could have been the best pirate game ever into a dying game that only sees resurgence when the new updates come out. When Rare was developing this game, they wanted to make separate Xbox One and PC ports, with the PC port being vastly superior. Microsoft does what Microsoft does, and said, "No bitch, you're making it crossplay, and you're gonna make sure that the PC edition is dumbed down to the Xbox edition." Unfortunately, this meant that instead of 10 to 20 ships on a server, you can only have 4 ships on a server, which means that you can only have a max of 16 players on in one instance. There are 3 ships. The sloop for 1 to 2 people, the brigantine for 2 to 3, and the galleon for 3 to 4 players. So, the ships already have so few people to man them, and while you can do crew alliances, those can be broken and betrayed. So, the full official crew size is only 4. This really hurts Sea of Thieves' potential as a fun pirate game. Rare is an awesome company. They have made some really amazing IPs, such as Conquer and Banjo. And what do those 2 games have in common? Some good-ass music and colorful popping visuals. Sea of Thieves offers those same exact things. Rare just really knows how to make a game pretty to look at and pleasurable to hear. Rare is so awesome because they do what they're good at. You know what Rare is not good at? Making survival games. Those fucking bonobos in the dev group decided to take a perfectly okay arcadey food and health system and make it into a complicated mess where there are more foods other than bananas, and instead of just being able to eat your food, you have to cook it to get more health. This isn't fun. This game is not supposed to be realistic. It's an arcadey style pirate game. And when you introduce realistic aspects to an arcadey game, it ruins the experience. Finally, when Rare does release a new expansion, it's just more of the same bullshit with a skin. When they released the Volcano update, it went from, okay, get this chest on the island and kill a few skeletons, then come back, to, okay, get this chest on this island while a volcano shoots fireballs at your ship nonstop, but wait, the chest has a really cool fire aspect look to it. When their most recent Dark Relic update came out, it was like, alright, now grab the chest that looks monstrous and decrepit and come back. Where they could be building their game up to host more ships, developing new ships, and giving gold a purpose for shit outside of cosmetics, they are sitting in the dev room having a circle jerk. When Rare releases a new update, it's kind of like a car salesman taking a 95 Honda Civic with 175,000 miles on it, and the paint is all scratched off, the check engine light's on, the car's all fucked up, but the car salesman slaps a fucking sticker on it, and that baby in bold, big letters just says, new. I don't think it's fair to compare this game to Rare's other titles when critiquing it, as this is a totally different thing from what Rare is known for. But that really just brings it back to what my overall point of this is that if something's not broken, don't fix it. Rare is really good at making platformers. They make excellent games when they're platformers. That's not to say that Sea of Thieves is inherently a horrible game. It's not objectively a horrible game. Like, it works. You can play it. It's okay. But that's the problem. It's okay. And when you have a company such as Rare, you have huge expectations. I don't want to go on too much of a tangent, but it's kind of like with BioWare. Early BioWare, of course. You have huge expectations. They released games like Knights of the Old Republic and Jade Empire, and then they released Knights of the Old Republic 2, and you're just kind of like, what the fuck are you doing, BioWare? What's wrong with you? And that's kind of how I feel about Sea of Thieves. It's not that Rare made a bad game. It's that they tried to do something new. It didn't work. But rather than trying to fix that, they just continue with the non-working model. And unfortunately, that's just what's gonna happen in AAA gaming today. The game has massive potential, and I believe that Rare could turn it around, but in its current state, the game leaves the table with a 5 out of 10.